What it do, what it do.
Well, what's going on, Ingrid?
Oh, nothing much. Just reorienting myself. Well, not orienting to being a full-time entrepreneur. How about you?
Well, I already told you I have just got all kinds of stuff going on lately, which is good. Good problems, money making things that are happening, moving the needle a little bit further forward, which is always good. Just busy. And that is actually something I kind of want to bring up today because this is the final Wednesday of March, isn't it?
Yes, I think so, because next Friday is April 5th, and I will be on Tristan and Kamohai's Deal and Aloha podcast. So I'm kind of excited for it. I'm kind of like using that as like my guide, like, okay, what's next week? So anywho, well,
that's sick.
Welcome everybody to the Explain It podcast with Caroline and Ingrid. We're happy to have you here. Today, we're kind of taking it a little bit easier and making sure that we have availability. I've gotten a lot of questions in my DMs. How about you?
Dude, it's been nuts. And actually, I wouldn't even say we're taking it easier. I think the thing is we're making sure everybody's back on track so you guys can start making money, because you are going full time into, you got paid to become an entrepreneur, which I think is pretty neat. And you're getting all in on this. And for everybody else on here, I know there's a lot. We got about 15, 20 people on Instagram Live. If you're on Instagram Live, bump over here to YouTube so you can come ask questions. What we're going to be doing today, and everybody on here, share this link. We're going to be able to bring you guys up on stage. We could even just kind of do like a business deep dive to make sure you guys are on track to being successful. But the whole purpose of this podcast is for free. And we're giving away resources that we did not have when we got started. And we want to cut down that learning curve. And I don't know if I talked about this last week. I think I did, Ingrid, with Eddie Reyes, but I want to just bring it up again because he's somebody who's copied off of this strategy that I've given to everybody on here about getting a deal done really fast. And I should have changed the title for today's episode. What's up, KB? I should have changed the title for today's episode and said $26,000 in 28 days, because I think he did it in 26 days. 26K in 26 days. And this is really cool for everybody on here. The purpose of this was, it was a 100-day challenge because we wanted to under-promise or over-promise so we could deliver. We never want to under-promise anything. We want to make sure that you guys are exceeding expectations. And Eddie had been in a mentorship for 2 years, and he'd been working. Not saying he had not been putting in the work, but he just hadn't had any success. He was putting energy in the wrong leads and the wrong activities that were not really benefiting him. And what we're seeing I know, how many flips do you guys have going on right now, Ingrid?
We have 4.
4. And if you guys notice, she just looked up because she has a whiteboard full of her flips. You guys should stay on top of where your leads are. Even tell my team, like, hey, this is a very hot lead. This one has a ton of equity. We need to continue working with this one. They have a lot of pain. We need to make sure that they're getting served to the highest level. But staying on top of your leads and tracking them is going to help you a ton. So you have 4 leads going on. You've been getting
4 flips. And then I have a deal with you. So yeah, the pipeline is nice right now.
Yeah. So there's a lot going on, guys. We going back and forth with the buyer on that thing. You need to have your pipeline full so you can reap those benefits in a few months from now. That has been a lead that my team has been working for 2 months now. Ingrid brought in a buyer on it, so you guys can always have other people you JV with, which is really cool. But I bring this up because Eddie came in, started practicing the same strategy that we've been telling you guys since the beginning of March, going after homeowners that are in pre-foreclosure, because those ones need help. And that's just one of the niche lists you can go after. You guys can do agent outreach. You can do 40 other things. But with these pre-foreclosures, Eddie had been in a mentorship trying to get some traction for 2 years. Just didn't have anybody who really needed help. They wanted to sell their house. They didn't need to. So focusing on those niche lists. And I always think of Ingrid when I think of this. Most people go a mile wide when you want to go a mile deep. Focus in one area, understand everything, become a master at it, and then add more onto your tool belt. And what Eddie did was he started door knocking, went after pre-foreclosures. After his 6th time door knocking this house, he got it under contract, and the total payout was $26,000. Helped a homeowner stop a foreclosure, which is pretty sick. And then I just found out yesterday, because he had 5 other hot leads, yesterday he got another house under contract. when you guys do this outreach, and you partnered with Ty Leon Guerrero, who's in Northern California, when you guys focus on people who need help, you're going to have, first and foremost, it's going to feel incredible because you're helping somebody going through a really tough situation. You're going to give them an opportunity nobody else would, and you're going to get paid from it. It's really, really nice. You're filling up your emotional cup, and you're filling up your bank account, which is going to be a game changer. So it's been really cool seeing everybody getting deals from this. And today is going to be dialing in on your KPIs, answering questions that you guys have. So I'm going to throw in the invite. You must be on YouTube for this to work. I'm throwing the invite in on the side chat. You just have to click on that StreamYard link. You can come up and ask us questions. We want to make sure that we're, not leaving anything to mystery. We want to open everything up. So if you're on YouTube, you can click on that link. Make sure you close your YouTube window when you go over to the StreamYard back of house so we can add you in. But I love this, and I want to help you guys out. Thank you very much. Rod and Kel Carver said, "Hi, ladies. We appreciate everything you do. You are both pretty sick." So that was pretty cool.
Hey, you said Eddie. What's Eddie's last name?
Eddie Reyes.
Oh, Reyes. Okay, forgive me. I thought maybe it was Eddie Vargas, who was one of our winners that we gave away a book to. So I wasn't sure which Eddie was.
Oh yeah, no, Eddie. That other Eddie's been messaging me a lot on stuff, but Eddie Reyes has been on the hunt for his first deal. I mean, he's just like, he'd been doing the work. It's just like he was scared before he got started door knocking. He didn't really know what all it would entail. There's rejection with it, but $26,000 in 28 days is pretty good, guys, for just going over to a house 6 times. And he didn't go up to the house and say, "Hey, you're in foreclosure. I'd like to buy your house." He went up and said, "Hey, I just want to make sure that you have these options to stop it. I'm here to help you if you want to do it." And, most of these people want to try and keep their house when they're getting started. So walking them through all the options.
There's a lot to be said with momentum. So now I heard you say he's gotten a second contract. I remember when I got my first deal in September. And by the way, the proximity of that momentum also helps. Yep. Literally, I got my contract, like my deal, my cash deal in Vegas. And then my husband was on his way to Vegas after close. So it was 30 days later, and he got a contract. And that was actually $26K, by the way, which is interesting. Oh, cool. And then the month later, we bought a SubTo deal. And then a month later, we got a St. Louis deal. A month later, we got a Sedona deal. I still remember those first deals because they were 1 month after each other. Once you start creating that momentum for you, it was incredible. So
I love that. And it's another testament to this for everybody on here. And I actually said this earlier on one of my Zooms. It's totally okay to be selfish. You guys got to be selfish and really say no to a lot of things. If it's not moving the needle towards bringing you deals and money and opportunity, you need to say no to it. Is it going to be the best for future you? Whatever you're doing right now, is that helping out future you? Is that going to help homeowners you're working with or your family or whatever's going on? If it's not going to help you out, you got to just say no and get really extremely focused. I had people say, are you going to Squat Up Summit? And I'm not going to go. I would love to go, but it's just with my door knockers on my team, my main priority is making sure that we're closing enough deals. And I want them making larger commissions off of the assignments we have. So I'm not going to something because it's taking away. I would not be as available with my team. And I'm in a very big ramp up period of teaching them. I'm more hands-on, my door knockers. And I have a few callers that are setting appointments for me. So I just want to be extremely available. And there's a time and place where I'm going to go to a lot of meetups and a lot of things like that. But right now, while you're building your business and you're building your processes and your pipeline, you're going to have to be really, I texted Ingrid, she's like, "I'm going to be working from my office today." I was like, "It's okay." I've been in front of my computer since 5 a.m., guys. I went for a 15-minute walk, and I've been in front of my computer since then. I took a break a little bit ago to go eat some turkey patties, but that's I have just been zoned in because we have standards and KPIs we're trying to hit. And it really helps, at least for me, talking about writing down the goals in front of you. What are your goals for the quarter? And I really like that. We've talked about this. What are we trying to hit? What are our expectations for the period of time we're in? Keep a battle buddy. And even if you don't have a battle buddy right now in the side chat, please let us know. Let's pimp you out and get you a battle buddy, somebody you can just talk to and bounce ideas off of, and you can practice with. I had a lot of people we practice role plays with. So if you guys want to practice a role play, I'll bring you up here too, and we can go through some calls and how that would work. But if you're on YouTube, click on that StreamYard link, and then you can come up behind stage and ask us some questions. So Ingrid, what would you say, what helps you when you're reverse engineering? what helps you stay on track?
Well, I think the very first thing is having clarity. Like, what is it that you're trying to achieve? And I'll be frank with you. So, part of my transitioning out of my day job is also like giving myself grace for some of
Mhm.
the habitual things, or like I call them anchors, like the
Mhm.
things that anchor you to your day. I did a live last night, or not, I did a story last night where I'm like, I'm used to my W-2 and I'm used to having my flow be off of my calendar of set of meetings. And now with that freedom comes a lot of responsibility. And that
Yeah.
means, like, I was
Time
taking
management.
in that a moment to say, what am I going to do with my day?
Mhm.
Because I have the freedom to do anything with my day now. And
Mhm.
if I'm going to do anything that isn't bringing the bread home, then it needs to be a pretty important thing. So today I did have a court hearing for my ex
Mhm.
stepfather, who's a not a great person. So that did clear a big part of my day because it's emotionally draining. It's a lot of stuff going on. But then I came into the office, and then we flipped the switch and started making or money generating activities like lead gen. So something that's very useful is understanding whether or not that activity you're doing is going to make you money or not. Um, and then looking at it from that lens. Like, I was legitimately working on a contract for a buyer who's going to buy our house in Avondale. And I was like, is this a
Mhm.
money make? Yes, yes, it is a money make, because I need to get that person under contract so that they
Mhm.
feel more committed to the deal that we're doing. But also so that if we're going to spend any time rearranging how we're going to do that flip, that we have more commitment. So now everything I do, it's like going through that lens to say, okay, is this thing that I'm working on going to lead to more money in my bank account? If
Mhm.
not, I shouldn't be doing it during, like, when the sun is out. I need to figure out
Mhm.
another time, or I need to delegate it. Because the reality is people are like, "Oh, you need to be delegating. You need to be," like, I would love to delegate. That's great, but I'm not in that place in my process yet. Like, delegating is definitely on the board.
I would say as well, I'm just a few people are on Instagram Live. They're like, how do I get in here? If you guys are on Instagram Live, go to YouTube and you can look up my name or Ingrid's name and you'll see us on YouTube right now. Joanne, I see you in the background. I'll bring you up here in a moment. For everybody on here, we've done a few of these where we've gone over KPIs. If you go to last week's and the week before, we've gone over the KPIs. You guys really need, actually last week we went over Privy, but a few of these we've gone over the KPIs. If you're new to this, it should absolutely, for an activity that's going to make you money, you need to be prospecting. You need to start getting leads in your pipeline. If you do not have leads, you do not have a business.
You have a
You
hobby.
need to go get some leads, fill up that pipeline so you can pull from it. And that's like, especially if you don't have time right now. If you don't have time, if you don't have money, you should be doing that. If you have a lot of free time, you need to be finding those leads, going to find opportunities that fit my buy box, Ingrid's buy box. And just so you guys know, we're both buying here in Phoenix. So bring the deals here. Ingrid is fixing. If I send stuff to Ingrid, okay, you send it to somebody who's taking the time to do fix and flips. Ingrid,
Hey,
and we're
man, she'll send shit to me too that I even can't buy because there's such great deals, but I can't compete.
Yeah, no, I sent her one, and then I had this other person who was just like a deeper, I guess not a deeper. What would you say? A slimmer buyer who could have less margin on it. Um,
Yeah. No,
yeah.
totally that. And it's interesting, right? Because there's competitions of all sorts. There's competitions of people going after the same sort of seller, but there's also competition within flippers that, like, hey,
Mhm.
they're okay making 20 grand. I'm not okay making 20 grand. If I'm just gonna make 20 grand, I'm gonna wholesale instead of fix and flip.
I actually
So
brought that up with my team because I told them that you were looking to buy it. And I was like, look, dang, dude, like I wanted to sell this to Ingrid, but you offered me less than what I had it locked up for. And I was like, I can't sell this to Ingrid, but I know you guys are looking for 60 grand you're looking for a 60 grand rip on
50,
your,
but
oh,
I say
50.
60 externally because I automatically know that when I say 60, they're going to bring me something that is only 50K worth. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. But see, I knew that. So, but I was like, okay, where can I wiggle on this and just understand that on everybody. All right. Well, I want to get to the questions that you guys have. I'm going to throw the link in here one more time. If you guys are in the side chat on, oh, that's the wrong button. If you guys are in the side chat on YouTube, you can come up on stage with us. I'm about to pull Joanne up. So Joanne, I'm giving you a 5-second head start before I pick on you. Please make sure your YouTube is closed, that YouTube window, because I have you on StreamYard, and we're going to pull you up and answer your question. So Joanne, hello. Thanks for coming on to our podcast. What question do you have for us? Oh, hang on. You got to click unmute. Let me make sure that you can click unmute on your side so we can hear you. It should look like a little microphone on the bottom left, I think. If you have a microphone set up with your computer. You might not have a microphone set up with your computer. So leave this really quickly. Go back to our YouTube on your phone. Go join our YouTube from your phone and then click on StreamYard and we'll bring you back up on stage so you have audio. She probably has like a desktop without a microphone attached is what my assumption would be there. So while we're waiting for Joanne to come back and get in the backstage here, what I'm going to do, let me make sure I throw the link in there. There you guys go. There's the link to jump on here and you guys can come backstage and ask us some questions. I did also just see Jason Williams said, need to be door knocking right now. Jason, love you, man. I'm so glad that you're making some money now. You just said you got his 3rd property under contract too. I'm going to mess up your name. I'm so sorry. Boroka said, I need help with leads. So we should talk about what the difference on what a lead is, guys. And I'll tell you like what I have my team look for. When you're getting started, the onesie twosie deals where you're making $500, $1,000 working for somebody is not going to change your life. You want to get for a larger rip. Like I'm looking for big rips so my team can have groceries, gas, utilities, everything that they need. Really narrow down on what your lead funnel looks like. Who has the equity that can give that I can give enough money to get started in the next chapter of their life? Who has the most problems? Who needs the most solutions right now? So if they have, write this down. So this is for everybody, 3 to 5 pain points. I'm going to prioritize that over just a plain old expired listing. If they're an expired listing, great. I'm not talking to them. But if they're in a pre-foreclosure, their water's not running, they're behind on their taxes, their house smells like cat pee, it's in the worst shape I've ever seen a house, and it happens to be expired listing, I'll then talk to them. But I don't go after expired listings. Ingrid, do you contact expired listings?
I may be. So because I am an agent, what I'm trying to do right now is divvy up my time during the week. And I have some newer agents that are on my my network at Real Broker. And so kind of like you, if we can make those calls and show them how you would get a listing agreement from those expired lists, they're worth reaching out. But yeah, it's a different purpose. It's not for wholesaling. It's for mostly for listing.
Yeah. Joanne, I just want to make sure that you understood. Open up on YouTube on your phone and click the StreamYard link, and then we'll use the microphone on your phone so we can bring you back up here. I'm about to get to Fiona.
She just unmuted herself.
Oh, she did? Oh, perfect. Look at you.
I was on another, I had you pulled up twice. On my
okay. There we go. Well, I'm glad
still learning.
Hey, that's okay. You got to figure it out. So where are you, Joanne? And it's Joanne, correct?
Joanne, yes.
Joanne, where are you and where do you need help right now?
You're going to think I'm crazy. I've been literally on YouTube and just taking in information for over 2 years.
Okay.
I don't know if you're familiar with Flipman.
I'm not.
He's in Alabama. I want to say Birmingham, but he's like a wholesaler. And I started following him. Then I started following Pace. And then I ran into you guys.
Okay. Interesting.
So I've just kind of narrowed things down, you know, based on your suggestions as far as, you know, finding a area and then finding my niche. So I've been trying to call.
Are you in Alabama?
No, I'm in Las Vegas.
Las Vegas.
Oh,
okay.
I buy in Las Vegas, so I'm curious.
Yeah, you got a buyer right now. I'm not buying in Vegas as of right now. That's sounds too hot for me. But what are you focusing on? You're in Vegas. Where do you need help right now?
I need help with knowing if I'm targeting pre-foreclosures or foreclosures or both.
Great question. Do you know what the difference is between a foreclosure and a pre-foreclosure?
I think the pre-foreclosure is when they get the notice of default.
Okay.
Then the foreclosure is when they have gotten the notice of sale and it's going to auction.
Great concept. So foreclosure is after the house has been foreclosed on. So the pre-foreclosure is when they've gotten notice, and so for Phoenix, I don't know what the laws are in Vegas, but here in Phoenix, we have 90 days. So there's a shot clock. On day one, they've been notified, hey, you guys have not paid your mortgage in 3 months. We've tried contacting you and you've been ghosting us. So we're making it public. You already signed a piece of paper that said if you don't make your payment 3 months in a row, we can auction this off without your approval. We don't have to go through court. We can auction it off. You have 90 days starting today. All right.
Okay.
On
the notice.
Yep. On the 90th day, that's when the house is going to go to auction. And if they don't get that mortgage caught up, what do you think is going to happen, Joanne?
Then they're going to get the notice of default.
No. Notice of default is on day one. Notice of default means.
I'm sorry. Right. Okay. The notice of sale they'll get after the 90 days.
No, not only that, on the 90th day, the house, they've lost it. It's been auctioned off. They have no rights to the property anymore. Joe Schmo investor or whoever bought it at auction.
Okay. So it's already been bought at auction if they get the notice of sale.
No. So they're getting the notice of Ingrid. Maybe you jump in and get the.
Yeah. So first of all, Las Vegas is very much like Arizona. There is no redemption period. There are some states where you can actually help sellers after their property has been sold at auction. So I think the two things that are being confused here is that you may think that there's two different notices.
Yeah.
Technically, there isn't. Like for all intensive purposes, especially since you're focusing in Vegas, there's no redemption period. You're focusing on pre-foreclosures. So the pre-foreclosure process is day one. They get the NOD, so notice of default, and they are assigned a trustee. So generally a law firm that then manages technically the seller's rights, or excuse me, the note holder's rights to make sure that they're following the foreclosure process required by that state. So that trustee will make sure that demand letters are sent out, that everything's like certified letter, that people are getting enough information. And like if you ever deal with pre-foreclosure sellers, they have the same letter more than once. Because part of the requirement, especially after what happened in the Great Recession, these note holders, these banks, the Wells Fargos, the Banks of Americas of the world, they have to make sure that they're sending enough notice to somebody who is now going to have their house taken away. So come day 90, before day 90, an auction date is set. And when that auction date is set, their house is sold in the open forum. And so an investor like myself, I can actually put in a bid to buy that house, even below what they actually owe the bank. So,
okay. So there's a pre-foreclosure, then they get the notice of default. That's when they get the notice of default.
Correct.
After 90 days,
they no longer have a house. After 90 days, they no longer.
In that 90 days, that is letting them know there's a sale date. So in that notice of default, they're saying your house is getting auctioned off on January 1st. We're letting you know 90 days before. This is in your notice of default. This is saying your house is getting auctioned off in 90 days, July 1st, whatever 90 days is from that date.
So the goal is to help them before that 90 days period is up.
So I'm not waiting. We're investors. We don't buy houses at auction because when they go to auction, you're bidding. I don't want to do that. We're reaching out to the homeowner before the point, and we're going into, hey, we have solutions to help you. And if you don't know what to do, Joanne, that's totally fine. Ingrid, if I found somebody who is in extreme need and I didn't know how to talk to them, would you help me talk to that homeowner and just pay me something for bringing you the lead to close it?
100%.
So When you're getting started, guys, this is the biggest life hack. This is why we give you our Instagram so you can message us. This is why we do this every Wednesday. Go find somebody, ride shotgun. And here's the thing. We're going to do all the heavy lifting here. We're going to throw this freaking lead on our back. We'll call them. We'll close it. We'll put the earnest money down. We'll do all the contract work. We'll put an in buyer, or we will buy it. We will do everything. We'll comp it. We'll tell you about the deal through the process. Okay.
Okay.
And when we're doing that now, does that mean if I'm doing all the heavy lifting, Joanne, is it fair that do you think it's fair that you get like 50% or 80% of the deal?
No.
No. So when you're learning, you're giving up cash or opportunities to learn right here. So I want to ride shotgun with somebody who's done it before. Teach me the process. So just so I make sure everybody understands that. So you brought up Pace Morby or this flipping guy. How much would you pay if you got to see Pace from the very beginning, figuring everything out? Like, dang, okay. Oh, dang, he got to know a lot. Sheesh.
Right.
So you get to ride shotgun.
So what, maybe $10,000, $15,000?
Well, you don't know what the assignment's going to be. I would say you're probably going to get a percentage. You could get 10% of the deal, 20% of the deal. That's something you're going to work out with that person. And it's going to be based on the amount of work you're doing. Now, if you lock the contract up, so watch this. So Ingrid and I are doing a deal right now.
Yeah.
My team, we found the lead. We skip trace it. We paid all the data. We've driven out to that. We've spent so much time on the phone. If this is a divorced couple, I cannot wait to be done with this lead. They hate each other. It's a divorced couple. We've been doing a lot. But Ingrid brought me a buyer. So because of that, I'm splitting this deal, the assignment with Ingrid 50-50.
Okay.
Because Ingrid has the buyer and I did everything else.
And I'm actually coaching the buyer too, because the buyer, this is a new way for them to buy. They're not clear on the contract. So, and the way that this deal is being put together, it's not meant for cash flow. It's meant for somebody to live there as their primary. So not only is it a buyer, but it's a very specialized buyer. So the value of that buyer is much higher because they're willing to put a much bigger down payment to buy this property. So,
and I know that Ingrid knows how to coach these people. I'm willing to give Ingrid 50% of this deal because I know it's a vetted buyer and they're legit because she's helping them out. Now, if Joe Schmo off the street was like, hey, I got a buyer for you, I'm like, I've never heard of you before. Where are they going to buy this at? Are they really going to do their part? So making sure you're working with somebody who knows what they're doing. And this is the biggest thing. So like this deal that I the other day, Wednesday night, I talked to a homeowner. His auction's on Tuesday of next week. So within 10 days of auction, we got this thing under contract, 10 business days. Last Wednesday after this, I was like, Ingrid, I have to get off. You guys saw me leave the Zoom early because I had to speak to this homeowner. I really don't want to sell. I don't want to sell. Like, I want to stay here. Like, I'll live in here without electricity. I want to stay in this house. And then he told me his daughter lives with him. And then his grandson, who's 2, lives with him. I was like, would you really want to put your kid and your grandchild through this? Well, I'm just saying, I just really don't want to sell. So we walked through every option we could for him to keep it. He'd done a forbearance. With that forbearance, he didn't catch it up. He filed for a bankruptcy. They consolidated all of his debt every month, all of his first of the month, because of all of his bankruptcy debt, the trustee payment, $3,500 immediately goes out the door for all of his lump sum payments. And he got behind on his mortgage and he's just drowning. So I had him talk to Jeremy Demers, who Ingrid connected me with. So great. Jeremy, I was like, hey, Jeremy, I'm going to send this guy to you. We're probably going to try and rebuild his credit. He wants to see if he can pull his equity out and try and refinance his house. Well, I'm going to ask you this, Joanne. You think a gentleman who has a bankruptcy, first and foremost, bankruptcy on his credit, and has not been making payments on his trustee payments for that bankruptcy, how do you think his credit score is? Do you think he'll be able to refinance his house?
No.
Now, am I going to go tell him, you can't do that, blah, blah, blah. He doesn't want to hear it from me. I'm just Joe Schmo off the street. I'm going to go let him talk to a professional, and I'm going to continue sending business to Jeremy Demers because he's helped me out here. Okay. Jeremy Demers, great. Sent me a video afterwards. He's like, hey, Caroline, I just wanted to update you. It was funny. He sent it to me during a different Zoom. He's like, you're probably helping new students on a Zoom. I got off the phone with Billy Bob, whatever my seller's name was. I'm not going to say his name here, but got off the phone with Billy Bob. It was a 40-minute call, unfortunately for me. We went through everything, and we walked him through it all. And, at the end of it, if he did not have that forbearance and that bankruptcy, he could potentially keep it, but he's running out of options. One, I said, you can either lose this house or you can get something for this house and sell it. So I had a professional tell him, you're running out of options. Spoke with him that night, went over to his house, got to hear everything, got him under contract. Okay. I
Mhm.
posted this deal. I sent it out. Ingrid, and not a hit to Ingrid. It's just like she knows where her numbers need to be for her to get what she wants for her time and effort to be in a flip. It
Mhm.
was $10,000 less than what I had it locked up for. I sent
Okay.
it over to another buyer.
Mm.
Sent out to another buyer who I really wanted to get his number first, but he's like, where do you need to be on this? I had a few other buyers. So I knew Ingrid was below where I needed to be. I had one other buyer tell me I roughly figured out where I could be. Another buyer wasn't really where I wanted to be. And
Mhm.
this buyer asked me, where do you want to sell it? And I told him $23,000 more than what I had it locked up for. And he was like, done, I'll buy it. I was like, okay, will you give me $8,000 non-refundable EMD? He's like, absolutely. So I knew this guy would give me EMD and he'd buy
Mhm.
it at my price. And it was going to be, because it could be tight for a smaller flipper. He's doing a lot of stuff. I knew it was a
Mhm.
guaranteed close. I knew this guy was going to perform. He's been very professional. So I'd rather get done with a legit buyer I know can close and can perform than have like oh man, I hope Billy Bob Thornton on the streets here is going to close on this deal. I haven't heard back from him.
Right.
Have
Mhm.
somebody you know is going to perform. Have somebody you know has good
Yeah.
buyers who will perform and understand everything.
Yeah.
I had that deal sold in 4 hours after I locked it up.
So you would suggest starting out that I find the lead, actually call them, and then say, well, I have someone that could help you out with this.
Watch this. You want to do a role play really quickly? You mean show you what I do? I'll let you be a homeowner in pre-foreclosure.
Okay.
All right. So what I want you to do, I find out you're in pre-foreclosure. It's day 1. I just pulled the data. You're in pre-foreclosure. Here we go. Ready? Ring, ring.
Hello.
Hi, this is Caroline. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, hi. I am looking for Joanne. This might actually even be a mistake, but I'm calling because Wells Fargo has set an auction for the property on 321 Main Street, and my job is to make sure that if it is a mistake, it gets cleared up, and if it's not, that you have been presented solutions to stop the foreclosure. Is now a good time to go through those options?
I'm not aware that my house is in foreclosure.
Oh, like I said, this is probably a mistake. However, it did just come across my desk and it was posted today. Have you received any letters from the bank recently, or maybe missed a mortgage payment or two?
I don't think so.
Okay, like I said, probably a mistake. How about this? What if, do you have 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes? You could call your mortgage company and just confirm that this is a mistake.
Sure.
Okay, so what I'm going to do, is this your cell phone, Joanne?
Yes.
All right, I'm going to shoot you a text so you have my information. I'm going to call you back in about 20 minutes just to make sure it's clear. It is showing on my desktop here that this is set. Like I said, sometimes one person at the bank presses the wrong button and they trigger this thing, but I wanted to make sure that you guys are all cleared up. Go ahead, contact your bank, make sure it is a mistake. I'm going to shoot you over my information. If for some reason it's not a mistake, I have 5 solutions that'll stop the foreclosure. And my job is just to make sure that you've had them presented. And if you have any questions, I can clear everything up. Does that sound fair?
Yes, that's fair.
Okay. Well, Joanne, thank you so much for your time. I'll follow up with you in about a half hour.
Okay, thank you.
Click. Now, did I go into, no, Joanne, you fool. You are in foreclosure, you idiot. I didn't do that.
Yeah, right.
It's not, we're not fighting people here. It's,
right.
Let's go this way. Let's go try this out.
Right. And okay, so then at that point, I call them back. They agree to.
Now, hang on. Let me ask you this. Do you think that person would have called the bank in 20 minutes to find out if it was a mistake? Realistically?
If they actually, if they legitimately thought it was a mistake, I think they would call. But if they know that it's not a mistake and they're just trying to,
You're okay.
trying
They
to
know it's not a
avoid
mistake.
it.
They know they're in foreclosure and they're lying to me. It wouldn't hurt my feelings. Buyers are liars, sellers are worse. Most of you don't know me. I'm just you don't even know my ginger.
Right.
I'm some ginger fool on the other side of the phone that just called you out of the blue.
Yeah. So, okay. So I called them back.
Mm-hmm.
In the 10 minutes, I called them back.
Okay, here we go. I'll call you back. Ring, ring.
Hello.
Hey, Joy, it's Caroline again. Or Joanna, it's Caroline again. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, hey, I'm just calling you back. I wanted to keep my word and say I'd call you back in 30 minutes. So what did your mortgage company say? Was it all a mistake?
No, it wasn't.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, do you have 5 minutes right now? We can go through the options to stop the foreclosure.
Sure.
Okay. Before we go through these options, Joanne, typically these calls, like I said, take 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes if you have questions. What I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you some questions so I can understand the situation and we can present the best solution to you. Does that sound fair?
Yes, that's fair.
Okay. And Joanne, if at any point during this call, you just like don't want to talk to me anymore, you feel like I don't have the solution for you, it will not hurt my feelings if you say, hey, Caroline, buzz off. I don't want to do this. Okay.
Okay. That's fine.
And then the final thing, if we do agree and like we figure out this is best, we're going to set up another call where we can go into the next steps from here, because I'm going to keep my word and keep us right around 5 to 10 minutes because I have actually 3 other families I'm helping today and I need to make sure I get a hold of them.
Okay.
Sound good? All right. Boom, boom, boom. Catch me up to speed. How do we get in this situation?
Mm-hmm.
Here are my ways to stop a foreclosure. Bada bing, bada boom. Maybe you don't even know. And maybe somebody really does just want help stopping the foreclosure. Hey, you know what? My name's Joanne. My name's Caroline. I'm actually just making sure that you want help. Ingrid on my team, my manager, Ingrid, she's available tomorrow to make phone calls. Is this the best phone number to reach you at? Perfect. Let me connect with Ingrid and see when she's available. I'm going to text you. And when she's free, she's going to give you a phone call. Does that sound good?
Yes, that's fine.
Perfect. Boom.
Okay.
That you can set up the appointment for Ingrid. You can set up the appointment for me.
Okay. Okay.
Did anything seem really like mystical? Was there any magic words in this entire thing?
No. So my question is, if they say, well, no, it's not true, my bank is, they must not be right.
You know what? It probably was a mistake. That's why I said it was a mistake. How about this? Make sure your bank gets it cleared up. I'm going to just check back in with you on Tuesday of next week to make sure it's clear. And that way, that gives them, it's Wednesday today. That gives them 5 business days to get it off the website here. Right. So that way we'll know it's all cleared up. Sound fair?
Okay. Yes.
Perfect. Boom.
Okay.
All right. $20. So, you got to go say nice things about me and Ingrid because I just gave you a free coaching lesson.
Yes. Thank you. So I don't go into the 5 options or any of that. I would
have after you told me, if you want to, if you're ready to, I'd say, catch me up to speed, tell me what's going on. And then I would have gone through the 5 options with them.
If you're not ready, then that's when you contact myself or Caroline, and then you can schedule, you then become more of an appointment setter, which is a totally legit thing. Like there's a lot of people, that's all they do. Literally, I made somebody, I didn't make, but collectively, we helped a guy make 50 grand. He spent 5 minutes on the phone with the seller, and all he did was set me up with an appointment with her 30 minutes after he spoke with her.
Really?
So, yep, it was my biggest wholesale deal in Sedona, Arizona. Shout out to Anthony Pappas who helped put that together. And that's all he did. All he did was he contacted the seller. He got to work on the phone.
Yeah.
He didn't know how to do the 5 ways to stop a foreclosure, but he knew my availability and said, hey, Ingrid, I'm going to make calls. If I have somebody, can I text you? And that way we can do kind of like a live transfer. I said, absolutely, no problem. I'm free for the next 2 hours. And then bada bing, bada boom, we ended up getting a deal within 4 days.
Wow. Okay, cool. So my question is with the pre-foreclosure, with the auction, as far as me finding them, I did find a title company, guy really nice here. He was willing to send me a list. So he sent me a notice of default list and a notice of sale list.
Yep.
Okay.
So do I look at both of them or just the notice of default list?
Focus on the notice of default list. That'll be your best bet.
Okay.
And what I'll do is I'll reach out to my contacts in Vegas to get a better explanation of what a notice of sales means in Vegas. And then if I better understand it, Joanne, we'll get back to you so that you know what it means. But at least we know what a notice of default is. And those are your pre-foreclosures.
Those are the pre-foreclosures. So I shouldn't concern myself with the, well, I have to look at the date so I'll know how close it is, right? And maybe put the one that's coming up soonest, soonest at the top of the list.
Pop them at the top. Pop them at the top. So let's look at this. This is another thing that you can do for free $99. You don't have to even go to your title company. You just go to auction.com. Okay.
That was my next question, because on auction.com, all I see is bidding.
Let's take a look. All these green ones are going to go to auction.
Okay. So that's the same as looking at a notice of default. They're not there
I don't
yet.
know. You're going to have more accurate data from your courthouse and stuff, but let's click on this one right here. Okay. This is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. Here you go. Your auction date is the 12th of April.
Oh, look at that mid-century.
Wait, let me
point that
out. Point it out again. Where's
right
the date?
Here.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Wow, I've never seen that. Okay.
I know. So now the course is now $50. You owe me and Ingrid $50 for taking our time to show you this.
Okay. You got it coming.
What you can do, auction.com. You can download the app on your phone.
Okay.
Okay. Take
done.
the time. Organize all of your leads tonight. Organize them. Trace them. True People Search is free. Use True People Search. Look up the person who lives there. See, are the phone numbers going to be accurate on True People Search, you think, Joanne?
They have not been so far.
So what do you
like
think
the one I called today, it was out of service.
Mm-hmm. So how do you think the best way to get somebody's phone number is that's accurate? What do you think the best way would be?
Skip tracing. Oh, knock on the door. Yeah.
Oh, knock on the door. Go have the conversation with them.
Yeah.
Hey, here's my resources. What's your phone number to send it to you?
Okay.
Or you can go FBI like me and go find them on Facebook and start DMing them. Yeah.
Oh,
So.
okay. Yeah, because I'm a little skeptical. I am as far as door knocking, because you just don't know how people are going to react. It's just me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's my thing with the door knocking. I really wish I could just.
Do you think that the seller is saying I'm skeptical of answering my door because it's just me?
No.
Oh, I was going to argue to that. Yeah.
That they are.
In fact,
if they're in there by themselves, yes.
Not just that, but do you look like somebody I should be afraid of?
No.
Okay.
I already got my white shirt and my black pants, and I'll do my hair all.
You look like somebody I want to like have come in and have some breakfast with me. I'm just saying that you're unassuming in my mind. And so like this is my tia I want to have some huevitos with, like you don't seem threatening to me. So if you were to knock on my door, I would answer. And I think that you might actually see this more as a strength versus a weakness. So just a call out, if you're not comfortable, don't do anything you're not comfortable with. But in my opinion, women need to do more sales jobs because I believe we can be really good at it. But all right.
Okay.
Well, Joanne, it looks like we have a few other folks waiting for us to answer.
Yes.
I hopefully this was valuable to you.
Yes, very, very valuable. And thank you for everything, guys. I've been following you guys for a while. So thank you for everything.
You're welcome.
How much I appreciate it.
Thank you for
You're welcome. You're welcome. Thanks for coming in here.
To the next level.
Yeah, come back next week. Okay. This is the whole purpose of this. But we need to start messaging Ingrid on Instagram. If you don't know how to use Instagram, YouTube how to use it. Message her. We're fast on Instagram. You can. I'm on Instagram 3 to 4 times a day, and I reply back to people. I'll send voice messages if I can. We're here every Wednesday at 4 o'clock. Come back and tell us after you've locked up some deals, or send them to Ingrid because she needs to buy another deal. She told me if she doesn't, she's gonna have to sell one of her kids, and I don't want her to do that. Okay, send her your deals. All right. Thank you, Joanna. Nice to meet you. All right, Fiona, can you turn your camera on? We'll bring you up, and then we're going to bring up Mitchell. Oh, my gosh, Matthew Potter's watching. What's up, Matthew? What's going on, Fiona?
Hi, guys. Hi, ladies.
Hello, hello.
Good afternoon. I don't know if this is the right questions for this topic, but I was just trying to see if you guys, lady, can help me gain some clarities on.
Let's do it. Give us your clarity question.
Yeah. So, I know my goals. I want to build a passive income to like about 10K in 3 years. But there's so many options, especially with SubTo. You can do Gator Landing. I'm kind of just overwhelmed with the options and know what is the best sort of a blueprint for me, so I can focus and do some like results, productive actions instead of
for Gator Lending.
No, the Gator Landings. Just example, like I feel like there's so many channels where you can do. Yeah.
What does your day look like right now? Are you working a W-2?
Yeah, I am.
What do you do?
I'm a nurse. Yeah, I do. So I just got off work.
Ooh, she got
So my time.
money. She got nursing money. My sister's a nurse. Thank you
I
for
yeah yeah. You're welcome.
you out here.
um.
Being a nurse is
Yes.
tough. They got their butts kicked during COVID. Those nurses were out here grinding.
Right. It is a tough, but it is very rewarding. It is very rewarding. It's just I got 2 young kids, so I want to be home more often and want the time freedom.
So
I'm
as
sure
a
most
nurse,
of
you're
us
working
do.
what, 12-hour shifts?
I do 410s. Sometimes I
410s?
do 410s and maybe like a 4 hours on call shift. So average
Okay.
about 44 hours a week.
Whoo, girl, and you got children?
Uh-huh.
Oh
I
my
got
gosh.
6
Thoughts
and
and prayers
8.
to you and
Yeah.
Ingrid. I don't know how people do it with
Wait.
children.
6?
No. A 6-year-old and an 8-year-old. No, not
Oh,
6 kids.
okay.
Still,
Yeah.
one is a lot either way. All of you guys with kids, that's incredible that you're doing this, and I'm tired
Thank
and
you.
I have a dog. So I would just say you have 3 days that you're not doing anything. Again, you're going to hear me preach all day door knocking. I've just seen a bunch of people that have copied off my door knocking, and you're going straight to pain and motivation where people need help. Where do you live right now, Fiona?
San Diego, California.
Everybody lives in freaking California. Okay, I do know San Diego, you cannot just go to the courthouse or you cannot just go to the courthouse website. You have to go down to the courthouse to get their documents. So your life hack is you're also going to be using auction.com to pull stuff. I would say go door knocking there. The only caveat to California that sucks is that you can live in a house, I think, until the end of time there, unless they absolutely need to sell. So if I were you, I'd even niche down even further. I would do like pre-foreclosures, and then I'd pay attention to who has their water shut off, who has repairs that are so bad they probably can't do it, who is miserable and must sell their house. Get even further niche on that and door knock those homes. I know Ingrid is one of her purposes, and I know we're both very passionate about this. Ingrid wants to get affordable housing for seniors and making sure they have somewhere to go. There might be seniors that are living in real, like I just worked with a woman yesterday. I don't know if I've told you about her, Ingrid. I talk about it so many times on my team. This woman has not had water in her house in 3 years, no running water. When I spoke with her on the phone, she told me she had a rodent infestation. I said, rodent infestation? She said, yeah, we have a rat infestation. She stopped taking trash out and started piling trash up in her home. She's a hoarder. Okay. I went over there yesterday. I brought her some water and some food. I'm going to take her to the food bank. we're going to go I'm also going to go over and weed whack her house and take trash out that's out in the backyard. Like I'm going in with service first. But she's in a situation where she's living on less than $1,000 a month and she owns her house free and clear, but she's tax delinquent. She doesn't have running water. I mean, she can barely move around her house. She has multiple pain points. So I would say focus even further niche on that and going direct to pain and talking to those people. Again, you're going to hear me say go direct to seller and door knock because you're going to get right in front of them. You're going to have quality conversations. That'd be the thing. And you're a nurse. I know you're going to have good bedside manner. You could do really well. You might even, just a thought here, me just spitballing. If you're a nurse, you might know some nurses that are in hospice or families that need to get their seniors into affordable housing. They have disrepairs to a property and they can't do anything. That's what I would push. I'm going to hand the mic over to Ingrid and give her input because I know Ingrid does more with the seniors. Ingrid, what would you say would be the best move for Fiona?
I actually love that you brought this up. So you are in a very unique place, Fiona, because do you have placement managers in the hospital that you work? Like, do you ever get any patients that they're not allowed to go home because they are
rehab, needed nursing home?
Perfect.
You're talking about the patient.
Those are actually the people who I try to network with because what they have to do is they have to find a trusted individual that will help those that need further care to transition out of their homes. I don't know if you know this, but 40% of homeowners in the United States own their houses free and clear. So many of these seniors own their house, just like Caroline's scenario, but they need a trusted individual that they know is going to go above and beyond for these seniors to take care of selling their home, to take care of their personal property. In fact, when you brought up that person, Caroline, the other thing that I started thinking of is this person on like Medicare or Medicaid, because if they have a windfall, they lose their benefits. Let's see. Is your car clean? That's clean for. No, just kidding. Because I just saw your floor.
I know.
So
I dropped it.
another approach that you can take
Uh-huh.
is leverage. Two things you could do is leverage who might need that transitional help, that you can plug them into other investors that are doing deals in San Diego or wherever those seniors are located, and you can get paid as the connector. Or secondly, you are around a lot of high paying individuals. You can
Yeah.
be raising capital and then connecting with people like Noah Hoffman, or connecting with people like Annika, Jen Shelton, Ty
I muted
Guerrero.
myself. Christian Hernandez is in LA. He does pre-foreclosures.
There's a lot of great SubTo, very I'll say, like, they've proven their value leaders out in California, where instead of you trying to go and find the deal or even trying to find the seller, raising capital for them and helping them find those connections and you making money off of that. That's another approach too. Now, it might be more of a shorter term approach right now versus a longer term, but it's another way for you to build momentum and be in the business, basically.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So I guess, what do you recommend? I'm more like an introvert, so I probably should be studying up, get on those daily diet.
He's like, I don't want to talk to anybody. I'm an introvert. I don't want to do this.
No, I rather talk to, actually, door knocking. I would prefer door knocking over cold calling, to be honestly speaking. Yes, because so I do better when I actually talk to person in person instead of picking up the call and talking over the phone.
If you're an introvert, I would assume you feel more comfortable talking to people in SubTo because you already have something in common with them. So you don't have to figure out, what am I going to talk to this person about? So if you're calling Christian, if you're calling Jen, if you're calling Noah, like people that are in our SubTo community in California, like it'll be easier for you to say, hey, what do you need right now? They're like, oh, I need $50,000 for this next deal. Okay, great. If I can bring you $50,000 for this deal, and and can I partner with you on it in whatever way that looks like, so it properly compensates you for doing that. So that's a way that you can approach deals without having to go through the hoarder houses and or go through. You're a little bit more removed, but it is an approach you can take.
Right. Okay. Do you guys know anybody? I need a battle buddy to do door knocking for foreclosures. Who should I reach out to if I want to go that route?
I'm trying to think of who's in San Diego. All you need is somebody that you can talk to. If you want to door knock with somebody, you need to go to are you in SubTo?
Yeah.
You should go to your regional group, your SoCal meetup, and see who's door knocking, who you can door knock with. I would go learn from them. I asked somebody else to show me how to door knock because I was afraid. I still get scared to door knock. I don't like getting yelled at. I don't like when people are mean to me, but rejection's part of the game. I would go learn with somebody. If you're going to get started, I think come back in here next week on Wednesday with us while we're doing this. You can connect with me and Ingrid all the time. I mean, I'm on Zooms. I've been on my computer all day on Zooms. Wednesdays and Thursdays are my longest days of the week. But I would say go find data on auction.com. Let's look really quickly. Let's see what's in San Diego. Where do you don't tell me exactly where you live, but San Diego. Let's see what's in foreclosure in San Diego so you can build your list really quickly. Just use auction.com. Again, it's a free resource. We'll go over here. You have all of these houses. Now, who lives in San Diego? What kind of people live in San Diego?
A lot of biome, older populations.
Older population. What type of tax bracket do you think the average person is in San Diego?
I say at least 18, 20, 25, 25, I think.
We got a lot of rich people in San Diego. People want to be fixing and flipping in San Diego. So I want to let you know, you're going to have competition, but if you go and you serve from a higher position of value, you're going to get more opportunities. Let's just click on this house. This house. Oh, here you go. This one has an auction next week when Ingrid's going to be on her podcast with Kristen and Kamahai. Okay. This one, I would go and try and get this thing. I would go knock this puppy. I would find out where their phone number is. I would find out how I can get a hold of them. All right.
Okay.
This is the person that's holding the auction here. Okay. This is the trustee. I would go look for the houses that are going to fit your little area and add them to a list, text them, call them, door knock them. You need to get more frequent with stuff. And then again, I already told you, do other leans. Look for the crusty houses. My team, when they go driving for the houses, they're looking for crusty houses too, and they go door knock those. Always try and come from a point of leading with value first.
Again, I still think your best bet is to get a hold of your placement managers and see how you can get deals through them. That's my
especially with the competition you're going to have in California. There's
bring them coffee, you know, say, hey, I'll buy you that cafe lunch today. Let's talk about like who needs placement and, you know, do they own their property and how can I help? Like that in my opinion is a really huge opportunity.
You're actually, you're in a very niche spot because you have that access. Most people don't.
You don't, I don't have that access.
I just don't realize it. I guess I just don't know how to utilize it yet. But thank you.
Yeah. I bet
Ingrid, are in the niches, and I'm telling you, it's a good niche.
I know that Ingrid's doing some consulting now on her own. You can book time with her outside of here.
Yeah.
You'll have to pay. I just want to let you know you're going to pay for that time for her consulting, but she'll consult you, and you can just message her on Instagram. It's I'm not going to talk about the prices she charges, but you guys can. I do it too, guys. Both of us. You can book from our Instagrams. Message Ingrid, ask her when she's available. She has already been in this situation. You can get a lot of insight from her, but she'll do some consulting for you outside of this.
Thank you. I will do that.
You're welcome. Message her on Instagram so you can talk about it a little bit further.
I'll do that now.
Yeah, of course. Great question, Fiona. All right, Mitchell, you're next. Turn your camera on so we can bring you up here. What's going on? Oh man, you are unmuted, but I cannot hear you. Make sure you have the right microphone selected.
It's on his phone. You could do it. I know you can, Mitchell. You got like 4 deals.
You're on the right mic. You got to. Oh, I thought I heard sound for a second. Make sure you select the right microphone. Edit microphone settings. Nope, I can't do your end. You got to do it on your side. All right. While we're waiting for him to come back, let's go through the questions that are in the side chat here. Sign language, if you can. This morning on the Daily Dial, we have 2 people that sign. I took sign language in college, and we're getting everybody to sign language together.
I only know the ABCs, and then
this is yes, this is no. Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's see what else we have in the side chat really quickly. Okay, you guys.
What does it mean for us to be? These girls are the bollocks. I thought that was a bad thing.
I have no idea. Sometimes Clive speaks in code, and I don't know what he's saying.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
All right. I'm not seeing any other questions. Well, hang on. What's this one say? Okay. So Peter said, I've got a buyer who wants to join the SubTo community. She has a small rental portfolio and has a fixed and flipped in the past. What is the best way to introduce her to the SubTo community? And there's another one. I just work with a SubTo student. I could get his advice too, but he's an integrator and I wanted your guys' take on it if that's cool. Again, you should message Ingrid on that. Peter, reach out to Ingrid because Ingrid has a discount code for her to join SubTo if she wants to. You just got to go through Ingrid and say, Ingrid, please, I know you're a beautiful woman, but please take my time to tell me how I should join SubTo. And she will really help you out on if it's a good use of time. All right, let's try it again, Mitchell.
Okay, is it working?
Oh, we can hear you.
All right, sick. Cool. Hey, it's good to meet you guys. Yeah, so just joined SubTo. I've been messaging you a little bit, Caroline, on Instagram.
Cool.
So I've been just trying to find like a blueprint of stuff I can just take action on while I'm trying to get like you guys are the first like real live SubTo students I've spoken with. I'm about to try to jump on the Arizona Zoom in just a minute. But what I've been looking at as far as like actionable things or like blueprints to follow while I'm getting these like connections started. One of them is the driving for deals.
Okay.
In the Zoom vault. And just hearing you at the beginning of this talking about pre-foreclosures, I just kind of wanted to get some of your guidance and recommendations as far as the amount of energy in like terms of KPIs I should expect to be putting towards something like driving for deals as opposed to just
so we've been doing this little series for a month now where I've talked about KPIs. I talk about the KPIs a ton. We've got a lot of videos on this. How much time do you have that you can dedicate to this?
So I work a W-2 from like 5 a.m. to 1 p.m. I'm a security officer, so I that whole time I'm just like binging SubTo videos.
Lucky, getting paid to learn. What
I know,
a
it rules.
lucky situation.
Yeah, so I'm trying to, as much as I love that aspect, I want to get out of there so bad. But I have, if I'm working pretty hard, I mean, like pushing myself probably like 3 hours, I could go just like balls to the walls.
Where do you live?
I'm in St. George, Utah.
St. George, Utah. Okay. Again, another mecca. All those investors up there. I would say you should like be knocking on the highest quality leads that you can. What's going to have the most leverage and use of your time. My team, their KPIs are 50 calls a day, 15 conversations a day, 15 doors knocked a day. That is what is expected of them. They need to be knocking 100 doors in a week. They need to be having, 100 conversations a week. They need to be setting 5 appointments a day. They need to be having 25 appointments a week. The goal is 1 contract a day, especially when you're building up your pipeline. That's unrealistic, but getting that going. I know the fastest way to a deal is pre-foreclosures. I mean, if you just saw Eddie said this a little bit ago, this is the guy I was talking about at the very beginning of the Zoom, or the episode here. He just made $26,000 on his first deal, and he just got a second deal closed or under contract yesterday. So I know it's worth it as long as you are working with people who need help and you don't give up. It's not easy. Eddie had to go to one house 6 times before the homeowner talked to him. It's not like you're going to go door knock and they're going to close on the first time. They're probably not going to answer when you go the first time. It's just a lot of repetition and consistent follow-up. So I would have that expectation going in. Ingrid, is there anything you'd say?
Remind me what your work schedule is again.
So it's like 5 a.m. to 1 p.m. Monday through Friday.
Perfect. Okay. You have plenty of time to also hit the phones. I worked at W2 for a good 3.5 years before I was politely asked to leave. They gave me money, so that's pretty polite. So I used to call from 4 to 7 to 4 to 7:30, and literally on my 7th day of phone calling and being consistent on the phone, the key word there is consistent. I got my first deal under contract. I didn't door knock, but I was calling a highly motivated list. I called a list that had both HOA liens and pre-foreclosure. So like there was more than one problem with that property, what was registered. And it was in Vegas.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It was okay.
Yeah. Don't just call a list of people that are in pre-foreclosure. Do a little bit more digging on them. Does that make sense? Don't just go to batch leads and pull that. I would go see, okay, not only are they in pre-foreclosure, their windows are shattered. I door knocked it and it's actually vacant. Nobody lives there. Like that's what I'd be focusing on.
Okay. And you recommend something like batch leads or Privy? Either one, really?
Nope. I just said don't do that.
County records is your best bet. Yeah. County records are your best bet, like go to the courthouse and whatnot. But you can use batch leads or Privy to give you more contextual data. Because if there's more than one pain point, it's hard to get that data from the county. But you will see it as additional information in those softwares.
Okay. So just to clarify, as far as, so I have like very, very minimal budget for marketing. You're saying going to, because like I'm trying to do deals in Phoenix and just network with other SubTo closers and whatever.
I'm a closer.
What? Yeah. Awesome. Cool.
So is Caroline.
So go to county assessor.
Go to your county recorder.
Or county recorder.
Go to your county recorder. Pull that data. You're gonna have to do more sifting. You can start on auction.com. Auction.com updates the day or day after. It's pretty accurate. Get that while you're getting started. Just pull a list of leads. Yeah.
Okay. Pulling that list from just
go watch a video I've done many times.
Okay.
All right. Okay.
Cool.
There's 90 million of them.
Okay.
You can do it. I believe in you. Don't quit.
All right.
All right.
Yeah, we'll be in touch.
Sounds
all right.
Good.
Thanks, Mitchell.
Thanks, guys.
All right. I actually have to get on the phone call. I have had my team blowing me up, so I have to get out of here, Ingrid. I know that you have a few things to do. Everybody, thank you guys so much for showing up. Clive, you got in here 5 minutes after we got ended up, so message us. I think he was just going to say that bollocks was a compliment. But everybody, every Wednesday, yeah, he's like, that's what I was going to do. Every Wednesday, 4 o'clock, we are live Arizona time on YouTube, on the Explain It podcast. You guys can come ask us questions. This is the purpose of this. We are trying to take away the mystery, help you out. We do appreciate everybody coming in here and liking our videos and subscribing. That just helps us out. Again, we're doing this for free. We don't make any money from this. We want to help you guys get a deal done. Ingrid, anything you want to say before you wrap up?
Well, actually, if you are in Phoenix, we have a meetup this Saturday.
Oh, that's right. I just sent that to somebody. I sent that to Gina. She's going to come.
Oh, fantastic. So we please ask you to register so that we can at least make sure we have enough goodies for people who are coming. But we're going to break down that deal. So we're going to demystify, like, what does it take to take a hard money loan? What kind of holding do you have to have? And how much we expect to make. So come join us. If you haven't seen the post, come DM me on Instagram and I will send you the meetup details. But please register. It's in Mesa.
There we go.
It's from 1 to 2.
There you go.
Yeah. So Stephen Hunt is my one of my partners, and then Anna is our project manager, and so she runs our flips for us. So
and
yeah,
great.
and
so
there
you guys
I
can
am.
connect us on there.
Yeah.
All right, Ingrid, thank you so much, guys. If you're going to come to the meetup, make sure you RSVP so Ingrid can make sure there's enough food for you. You know she's on her mom grind, and she wants to make sure everybody gets something. Guys, go take imperfect action. I love this. Emmanuel said, hey, Caroline, today I talked with a homeowner and applied what I learned this morning, and the conversation went great. Thank you so much. Emmanuel, awesome. You should also connect with Ingrid. Ingrid, his first language is Spanish, so I was tripping him up, giving him all the English that I had. But, guys, go take imperfect action. Just lead with value with everybody that you're talking to. It'll work out really well. If you have anything in Phoenix, Ingrid and I are your buyers. Ingrid's looking in Las Vegas as well. Have a great evening, everyone. Thank you for showing up. Again, thank you so much for liking our videos. Even that like just helps the algorithm out. When you share it, when you comment on here, it helps us. So we really do appreciate it. We see your comments. We want to continue leading with value. So thank you, guys. Have a great night. Ingrid, thank you. Tell Mark I said hi and the kids. Bye, everybody.
Love my ginger. Bye.